I had been on the Nova, a research vessel for months, cruising the endless void of space. It was a routine mission, and we were all tired and bored. That is, until we received a distress signal from a derelict vessel floating in the distance. Against our better judgment, we decided to investigate. I put on my spacesuit and boarded the ship with the rest of the crew. The interior was in disarray, with broken equipment and debris scattered about. As we moved through the ship, I saw signs of a struggle. The walls were scuffed and dented, and there were strange marks on the floors. We searched the ship, moving deeper into the bowels of the vessel. It was eerily quiet, with no signs of life. We were about to give up and return to our ship when we stumbled upon a strange room deep in the belly of the ship. The room was bathed in an eerie blue light, and there was a strange humming sound coming from within. As we approached the source of the sound, I saw a glowing, pulsing artifact. It was about the size of a basketball and seemed to be made of some sort of metallic material, with strange symbols etched into its surface. I couldn't resist the urge to touch it, and as soon as I did, I felt a strange sensation. It was as if the artifact was alive and communicating with me in some way. The artifact began to pulse and glow brighter, and the humming sound grew louder. Suddenly, the artifact emitted a burst of energy that knocked us all back. We lay on the ground, dazed and confused. When we looked back up, we saw the artifact had disappeared, leaving behind only a faint blue glow. We received a call over the radio from one of the crew still back on the ship in the cargo bay. He told us that some object had appeared out of thin air. We quickly realized that we needed to get off the ship as soon as possible. We rushed back to our own vessel and took off, leaving the derelict ship behind. As we flew away, I couldn't shake the feeling we had made a mistake. We had brought something dangerous aboard our own ship. We had no idea what it was capable of. The dream started the night after we found the artifact. At first, they were just strange and unsettling, but as the days went on, they became more vivid and terrifying. I dreamt of dark, shadowy figures lurking in the corners of the ship, of strange alien landscapes that I couldn't possibly have seen before, and every time I woke up, I had the distinct feeling that something was watching me. Despite my growing unease, I tried to focus on my work. We were scientists after all, and we had a job to do. We studied the artifact as much as we could, but it was like nothing we had ever seen before. It seemed to defy all laws of physics as we knew, and it left us with more questions than answers. As the days went on, however, I started noticing a change in myself. I became more irritable and paranoid, and I started to withdraw from the rest of the crew. Couldn't shake the feeling that something terrible was going to happen, that the artifact was somehow changing me. And then, one night, it happened. The artifact came to life, emitting a blinding light that filled the entire ship. I was thrown to the ground, and I could feel the ship shaking beneath me. When I looked up, I saw the artifact had transformed into a strange alien creature. I was paralyzed with fear, unable to move or speak. The creature's glowing blue eyes seemed to lock into mine. I could feel a strange energy emanating from it, drawing me towards it. I wanted to look away, to run away, but I couldn't. And then, one of my crew snapped out of his trance and attacked the creature with a nearby tool. The creature retaliated with a blast of energy that knocked him across the room. That's when I finally snapped out of it too. I rushed to his side, and we huddled together with the rest of the crew, trying to come up with a plan. We knew getting the alien creature off the ship would be no easy feat. We had to devise a plan, and quickly, before it was too late. I could feel the weight of responsibility on my shoulders as we worked to come up with a solution. Failure was not an option, not when our lives were on the line. That's when I heard the voice. It spoke to us without words, promising us knowledge and wisdom, promising to change our world forever. But even as it made these promises, I felt a cold shiver run down my spine. There was something sinister about this creature, something that made me instinctively distrust it. We quickly pored over the ship's schematics, looking for weaknesses or vulnerabilities that we could exploit as we attempted to retreat to safety from the creature. And then we found it, a small hidden access point in the cargo bay that led to the ship's exterior. If we could lure the creature to the cargo bay, we might be able to jettison it into space. It was a risky plan, but it was our only chance. We worked quickly, setting up traps and decoys to lure the creature toward the cargo bay, and when it finally appeared, we sprang into action. It was a fierce struggle, with the creature unleashing all manner of horrors upon us, but we fought back with everything we had, using our weapons and wits to keep it at bay, and finally, with a well-placed shot, we managed to weaken it enough to push it towards the access point. It was a tense moment as we activated the jettison controls, watching as the creature was hurled into space. Relief flooded through me as I realized we had narrowly escaped with our lives. But even as we caught our breath and tried to calm our racing hearts, I could feel a sense of unease settling in my gut. As we made our way back to the bridge, we could feel the ship changing, warping into something else entirely. The walls seemed to pulsate and shift around us, and I could feel a strange energy coursing through the air. I knew then that the artifact had not given up on us, that it was still working to carry out its insidious plans. We had no idea what was in store for us, but I knew that we had to be ready for anything. The artifact had shown us its true power, and I knew we had to be prepared for whatever horrors it had in store. We were in for the fight of our lives. We could not afford to let our guard down for even a moment. I could feel a cold sweat forming on my forehead as I realized what was happening. The artifact had infected the ship, using it as a vessel to spread its influence throughout the galaxy. We had failed to destroy it, and now we were paying the price. We tried to fight it to regain control of the ship, but it was too late. The walls were pulsing and glowing, and strange alien sounds echoed through the halls. I could feel my mind slipping away, my thoughts becoming muddled and confused. I knew then that we were doomed. We had meddled with forces that were beyond our understanding. Now we were paying the price for our arrogance. As the ship transformed into a strange organic structure, hurtling towards an unknown destination, I could feel a sense of dread building up inside me. And as we were consumed by the darkness, I knew there was no turning back. We had unleashed a horror upon the universe, and it was only a matter of time before it consumed everything in its path. I could hear the screams of my crewmates as they were consumed by the darkness, their bodies twisting and contorting in ways that defied all laws of nature. I knew that I was next, and there was no escaping my fate. And as I felt the darkness consuming me, I knew that I had made a terrible mistake. We had been so focused on unlocking the secrets of the universe that we had forgotten the dangers that lay within it. As the darkness closed in around us, I could hear the sound of the ship's automatic distress beacon starting up. I knew then it was too late, that we had unleashed a horror that we could never fully comprehend. In a last desperate attempt to prevent anyone else from making the same mistake, I tried to disable the beacon to stop our message from reaching out into the void, but my fingers were numb and clumsy, and I could not manage to shut it off. And so our fate was sealed, our warning broadcast out into the universe in a desperate plea for help. But I knew deep down it was too late, that we had set into motion a chain of events that could never be undone. In the end, it was our own curiosity that had doomed us. And as I slipped into the abyss, I could only hope that our fate would serve as a warning to those who came after us.